This is Bee's Intuition. Today we're going to do a reading. I'm going to try and make it a quick one, but we will see. I thought it would be a good idea to do, how have you grown on your journey? Something pretty clear-cut and simple, I would say. But we will see what comes out. Yeah, let's just dive right into it. Please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown on their journey? Please and thank you. What kind of growth have they gone through? How has the collective grown on their journey? Please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown on their journey? Whether that's a spiritual journey or a self-improvement journey, mental health journey, whatever it is, we'll see what comes out. How has the collective grown? How have they grown on their journey? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown on their journey? Please and thank you. Anything else? Please and thank you, Spirit. Maybe like one more? I think got it. How has the collective? Oh, almost. How has the collective grown on their journey? Thank you, Spirit. Ooh. Interesting. Well, what we got, we have the Knight of Wands, Four of Wands, then we have the Death card, and Six of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords. Somebody sees how much you've grown on your journey. Maybe a lot of people, could be multiple, but it feels like one in particular. Is it like impressed with your journey or something? Because I get like with the Page of Swords that like can't stop watching energy. You might really fascinate people around you. Anyways, let's start clarifying, starting out with that Knight of Wands. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify that Knight of Wands? How has the collective grown on their journey? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh, no. Okay. Let me go get that. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this if I'm not weighing down the cards. Okay. Ooh, baby. Okay, so what clarifies the Knight of Wands, we have the Seven of Wands, the Strength card, and the Two of Wands came out in this direction, right? Yeah, came out in this direction. And also fell on the ground, so it might be important. Oh, and bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. You've become a risk taker. Why do I feel like that was not how you were or have been raised? You take risks. You fight. You're a fighter. You're incredibly strong, but not just in terms of your physical body, but very much on a spiritual level and internal level, you're very strong. I feel like you've gone through a lot, but you don't let your past dictate your future or your present. I feel like you are somebody that loves to I was gonna say loves to fight for things, but I don't know. Because the Knight of Wands, that's a very active energy. I would say that the Knight of Wands is pretty motivated slash, yeah, like passionate, and allowing that passion to guide you, to put you into action. But I feel like there is like this theme of action in this part of the reading. You also have this ability to look back on your past and see the value, even if it was a lot of crummy circumstances. I feel like it's almost like in hindsight you can see like maybe the order or sequence of events in your past. It's almost like things had to happen the way that they did in order for you to come into this growth. Like maybe you're seeing like the purpose to it all now in hindsight. Because a lot of the time too, like when things happen to us or we're going through something, sometimes it could be a really good thing, like 10 years down the line, or hell, even a year down the line, or maybe even sooner than that sometimes. But I think that's it. It's like you can see in hindsight now what you didn't see in the moment when those things were happening. And so now you have I would say you have divine wisdom, a very strengthened intuition. That could be another way you have grown, through trusting your intuition, trusting your connection to spirit. But it really does. I feel like you have a more positive perspective when it comes to looking back on your past. You have this ability now to see the positives or the process, how it unfolded, and you have that wisdom now through lived experience. You're also like not afraid to make plans for your future, and it feels very much like you're showing up in the energy of not just somebody that plans for their future, but actually acts upon those plans. I also feel like with the wands, like there's 3 wand cards here. So I would say that you're very passionate, and maybe you will allow your passion to motivate you, to inspire you, to get you going. You could have like specific types of humanitarian work that you believe in strongly. Or maybe you're like an animal activist or something like that. Because it feels like what you want out of life is to do good things for the world. And it feels like you have a passion for making sure everybody gets their justice. And maybe this is from your past experiences of you not receiving your justice, and so now you're showing up as somebody that cares if other people get justice or not. I think that's a beautiful message there. And it feels like you've come a long way. I feel like people that have seen you, there's like a little tiny fly on me, so I was curious what it was. Anyways, I feel like people from your past have seen how much you've grown, how much action you have taken in your own life, because there's like this sense of accepting responsibility for the choices you make in life. And so I feel like you really want to make the right sorts of decisions and choices here. People from your past are probably very much in awe of this transformation, because it does feel like you have grown tremendously. And it feels very obvious. There's also maybe a part with that wand energy. I wonder if like you're more confident in yourself nowadays, more confident in your abilities. Maybe in the past you were insecure about those things. But I do feel like this guiding light that's like beside you. So I feel like spirit is very strongly with you. And it's almost like you trust spirit to guide you down the right path. You trust to You trust in spirit to guide you towards the right sort of actions that may be necessary for you and your growth and your journey. I wonder, with this King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, this could be sort of, yeah, this could be the energy that you kind of give off. Confident, stable, sturdy, secure in yourself, secure in your life. Somebody that attracts abundance. Also, King of Pentacles has that suit of armor underneath his cloak, which the other kings do not. And so that brings me back to that Seven of Wands message, which is you're a fighter. I feel like you could be building up to becoming the King of Pentacles, or you already embody that. Because it feels like this is the payoff for all of that hard work. All of those, yeah, all those situations that you have acted with clarity, acted with purpose, intention. And it feels like because you're making all the right choices, you're not afraid to act, you're not afraid to move out of your comfort zone. That may be another way you've grown, is you're no longer afraid of moving out of your comfort zone. I almost feel like maybe, depending on your path, maybe you kind of already have done that, and so it's not as scary anymore. There's two cards here, the Strength card and the King of Pentacles. Both of their eyes are closed. And I feel like that shows that you're trusting yourself more. You don't have to look around for validation. You don't have to pay attention to what everybody else is doing. There's something about you finding that wisdom within you. And other people see that you have that wisdom as well. I want to see what's underneath that King of Pentacles. Page of Swords. So that's so funny, because when I saw this Page of Swords, I was getting that message of like somebody's like observing you. Somebody like could be very impressed with how you have grown on your journey. They may even be in disbelief to a certain extent. Like, how the heck is that person from my past becoming the King of Pentacles? Could be somebody that has a past with you, but not necessarily. Yeah, it doesn't have to be somebody from your past, but it definitely could be. It definitely could be somebody new as well. Somebody that's maybe just recently started to observe you and the things that you're doing in your life. I don't know if you've heard of that saying where people say like depression is like looking back on your past, anxiety is looking at your future, and the only way to really find peace is through being in the present moment. The way that this Page of Swords is looking back and holding the sword, I almost feel like either you're very guarded when it comes to people from your past coming back into the picture, or trying to. You have your guard up with people from your past, but also on the other hand, I was getting the message of, you know, in terms of that whole saying of like depression is like, I don't know. I know it's a problematic quote or saying or whatever, because it oversimplifies mental health, but you know, I think it's something along the lines of like depression is caused by looking at your past too much, or thinking about your past and your past experiences too much. And so I feel I almost even feel like it's in terms of like a narrative from your past, or maybe a certain way you saw yourself in the past. You're actively fighting that past. And it feels like it's for the best, you know, because it's like you see those flaws or those ways that you were unhealed in the past, And so now you're trying to make a difference here. You're trying to really shift your life to the point where you may not even be recognizable to the people from your past. Okay, let's go into the Four of Wands now. See what that's about. Please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown on their journey? Please and thank you. With that Four of Wands. Please and thank you, Spirit. What is that Four of Wands indicating for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. How have they grown on their journey with that Four of Wands? Please and thank you, Spirit. Four of Wands. Four of Wands in the world. Four of Yeah, we'll take that, Oh my goodness, that's too funny. So clarifying that Four of Wands, we have the Nine of Swords, Queen of Wands, Six of Cups, Page of Swords popped out, and then we have the Six of Wands, Queen of Swords, and bottom of the deck, Three of Swords. In terms of your outlook on relationships, I get this feeling that maybe in the past you had like a difficult time with partnerships. Either people weren't the right fit, or they were toxic, or, you know, a bunch of different types of conflict and drama. And I feel like that could definitely contribute to this Nine of Swords energy, which is all about that internal anxiety, overthinking. You could have lost sleep over certain partners from your past, but I feel like I'm getting the similar energy of like you've learned from your past because of these moments. Because it's like now you know what path isn't for you. And so whether it's your exes trying to come back into your life or people approaching you that remind you of your exes, I feel like because you went through this process, could have even had something to do with like a lack of self-worth even, or situations that made you feel that way about yourself or contributed to that. But it's like because you went through that, you're like, I don't want to go through that again. So I'm going to be very selective with who I let into my life, pretty much. The Queen of Wands. So why do I feel like even when you're going through it, you still show up in a way that is very self-assured, confident? You're like still a bright light, even though you have those moments of darkness. You may be very used to being in those moments of darkness as well. Could have been some sort of mental health challenges or, troubles with your mental health that contributed to these mindsets or these feelings, thoughts and feelings about yourself that are more negative, potentially. But you show up in this very powerful energy, and you have this sort of energy that draws attention to you. And maybe that, to an extent, causes some anxiety as well. Like the way you're perceived by other people. And then the Six of Cups with the Page of Swords. You're a very giving person. People feel safe with you. You open up other people's hearts with that Six of Cups. It's like through you showing up in this kind, loving energy, other people feel more confident embodying that sort of energy as well. I'm also getting this like storyline of like, if I'm winning, we're all winning sort of idea, or like, yeah, something along those lines. I feel like that also puts you in a really good position, not only karmically, but also when it comes to doing good in the world. Because it's not just about you reaching your success. I feel like it's also about how can you best leave it a positive impact on the world. It's interesting how the Page of Swords here is looking over at the Six of Cups energy. And I feel like people around you may be sort of like hesitant to engage with you, or they may be a little bit standoffish. People with trust issues. So why do I feel like that could be part of your past? Because I was getting something about your past in terms of relationships being kind of, not great. So I feel like with that Page of Swords, I'm getting this energy of like people that you've been in a connection with, or even if it was just heading in that general direction, they were like very guarded, very standoffish with you. They didn't trust you. They thought you were too good to be true. And so that could have caused a lot of like issues in your relationships in the past. Because yeah, it's like, okay, so you don't believe what I have to say, but yet you still want to be with me anyways. And like, you don't trust me, but yet you still want to be in a connection with me. I feel like that feels very confusing, and that probably was how you felt maybe for a long time. And then there's the Six of Wands with the Queen of Swords. And for some reason, this is reading to me as like coming into success because you are no longer afraid of establishing boundaries. You're no longer afraid of cutting certain people off or out of your life. You could also be like a lot more direct. And maybe in your past you weren't so direct. Yeah, because like not everybody likes somebody that just gets straight to the point. But I feel like that's something that you're embodying nowadays, is somebody who's not afraid to share their truth with others to get to the like the reality of the situation rather than what people are projecting or trying to project out there. And because this is clarifying the Four of Wands, Six of Wands with the Queen of Swords could be something like you're going to be successful in a partnership, especially when you're embodying the Queen of Swords energy. Oh, I think I see now, because it's like you're being more selective with the people you let in, which I think we already touched on. You're being more selective with the people you let in, probably because of the experiences that you've gone through. You're much more clear-headed nowadays. I feel like that has something to do with trusting your intuition. Like not being afraid, because trusting your intuition can be a very tricky thing. I think those white doves are back. Still the two of them. Oh, they're so cute. Anyways, well, fitting partnership. Yeah. So you could be coming into a successful partnership because you are no longer second guessing yourself. You're no longer doubting yourself. You're no longer unaware of your own value and your self-worth. And I feel like that's leading you to your success when it comes to partnerships. So I feel like you have done a lot of growth in terms of maybe your outlook on partnerships, or the types of people you would like to be in a partnership with. Maybe your type in the past is completely different than the type you have now. If you even go according to like certain types like that. And And it's also very interesting that the Six of Wands comes before the Queen of Swords, and it's almost like even kind of hiding behind the Queen of Swords. But to me, that speaks of like internal, like what this Queen of Swords is experiencing internally. And I feel like it's something about, you know that you're a success, you know that you are a winner, you know that you're going to be going somewhere in life, you know your own value deep inside of you, because there's like this winning sort of energy. Like, yeah, so like I feel like it's adding more to that sense of confidence that you exude. The Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck is interesting to me. So, you know, the obvious message would be that you've been hurt a lot. But I'm also getting at the same time, you may be a bit of a heartbreaker during this time. And I don't think you're doing anything intentionally. I don't think that you're purposely like leading people on or, you know, playing games or anything like that. I feel like it has something to do with your new standards. Maybe certain people don't make the cut, and maybe in the past you allowed those types of people into your life, but through experiences you're like, I'm not going there again. But like through that process, certain people that don't like match your standards, or they don't mesh well with what you're planning for your life or what you're doing with your life. And so I feel like by a byproduct of you choosing yourself and maybe even waiting for the right person to come along rather than just taking whatever is available to you, it could cause people to feel a little bit brokenhearted. But that's okay, I would say. Heartbreak is a part of life, but also, well, like with the heartbreak too, is like sometimes it can be a good thing in the way of like, okay, these two people, these two energies are not really compatible. So yeah, like this isn't gonna work out, and then that leads to disappointment. But then it opens up that person that got rejected or whatever, it opens them up to find their true partner. I want to see what's underneath that Three of Swords. Nine of Cups. You make yourself very happy nowadays, whereas maybe in the past you could have had more like maybe codependent energy, almost like you needed somebody else to provide that happiness for you. But I feel like through your experiences, you kind of have built happiness in your life on your own, or at least a general sense of happiness or contentment. I feel like at this point in your journey, it feels like you're coming into this place, or you're already in this place of, I am okay if I'm single, you know? You're not just like, you know, only focused on relationships, or you don't value yourself based on being in a relationship or having a partner, because you've created a lot of happiness and peace in your life for yourself. And I feel like you've come to this point perhaps where it's like, I don't want anybody messing with my my progress, and so I'd rather just wait for the right person rather than entertaining these people that I know that I don't really like that much, or I don't really see myself with them long term. You're not that type of person to yeah, I think this is a hoverfly again. Okay, anyways, hoverfly, hovering. Okay, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, something along those lines of you don't want somebody coming in and sabotaging things that you've built on your own. You don't want to have the wrong types of people in your life. And so it's like, yeah, I'm good with just being me until the right person comes along, or I meet someone and we hit it off. But you're pretty content on your own. Okay. Let's go into the death card, clarify that, please, and thank you, Spirit. Ooh, thank you. How is the collective, oh, that's so interesting. I almost said, how are you glowing up? But how is the collective growing during this time? Please and thank you, Spirit. Beautiful. Okay, so clarifying the death card, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Sun card. Okay, those two together feel significant. Like you're working on something that makes you happy here. Also, this is all clarifying the death card, and that's a huge sort of transformation that you've gone through. So I'm also getting maybe the way that you view work or projects or things along those lines. I feel like you have changed your perspective on that, and also like what can bring you that abundance and stability, but also something that feeds your happiness at the same time. That could be very important to you. You may prioritize work that is more fulfilling. Also, maybe you have like more of a drive when it comes to work, because maybe you're doing something that you actually really enjoy doing. You're also somebody that's been really hard at work for some time, and I feel like that Sun card following the Eight of Pentacles is like a payoff that's happening because of your hard work. And that's like illumination with the Sun, so maybe illuminating why you've been working so hard, why you've had to work in this kind of way to reach this period of peace and happiness. I'm just feeling really good overall. And then there was more cards that came out. So we also have the Hermit and Ten of Cups. Those fell down, so could mean something significantly. Interesting that I was getting that message earlier about the eyes being closed, and that being like a sign that you're getting all the information you need from internally, like from within. And the Hermit is very much about that sort of energy. But also I feel like that speaks to like you're not afraid of being alone, and maybe that was something that you did struggle with in the past. So that could be a major way that you've grown, is that you're not afraid of being alone. You're not afraid of self-reflection. You're not afraid of being in isolation, especially if it's with like a purpose. You could be somebody that really likes to spend some time away from everyone to kind of either recharge your battery, or to like maybe meditate or get into a better frame of mind, or a self-reflective sort of state of mind. And it feels like, because the Hermit came out with the Ten of Cups, I feel like a lot of happiness is taking place for you as a result of you doing that internal work. And the Ten of Cups can be a happily ever after card. It also can be a card about union. So if that is something that you are trying to manifest, that seems like it's in the cards for you for sure. To be attracting your soulmate, the person that you wish to build your life with. I also just get this feeling when I look at this Ten of Cups that your future looks really, really bright. And maybe in the past you couldn't see your future, or you couldn't see it in a positive light. But now it's like, I get this feeling of like you're coming into happiness fulfillment. Very beautiful. And then the Temperance card was the last one that came out. It came out in this direction. Another way that you have grown is practicing patience. You could have been somebody that really struggled for a long time with patience or practicing patience. I'm personally of the belief that patience isn't really a quality, it's more so a practice. But you take the time to practice patience. Also, there's been so much healing that has taken place within yourself and within your life. You are very resourceful. You take what you have and you can make really cool things with it. So whether it's like, well, it could be so many different things. But it feels like, okay, I'll just use myself as an example. When it comes to like tarot readings on YouTube, I'm taking the cards that I have in my possession and I'm putting them to good use, and putting it out there for the world to see. And so maybe that would be an example of being resourceful. You have a lot more wisdom to you as well, but it feels like divine wisdom. It feels like a very special type of wisdom. I do think that you see things in a completely different perspective than you had in your past. I feel like you're way more hopeful. I feel like you feel like if you're investing the right amount of effort into your work, it's going to pay off for you. Also, if you're like reflecting and, like that self-reflection, isolation mode, it's going to lead you to great things. And I feel like this is just indicating how maybe your mindset has grown. So maybe in the past you had a really hard time being optimistic, but this feels very optimistic to me now. It feels like you have grown into this sense of optimism now, which I feel like maybe you didn't have in the past. Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So, that's that wounded warrior energy, building up that wall because of the things you've gone through. So I almost wonder if this is the past version of you, and then this death card happened where you transformed tremendously, practically into a new person, and you come out the other side and you no longer wish to be in this Nine of Wands energy, because this can be a very closed off, jaded, sort of bitter sort of energy. And I feel like you've made this decision to shift that, to really change that, so that you can become a healthier person, so you can attract the things that are actually meant for you / good for you. I feel like you learned your lesson about maybe mindsets and how important it is to shift your mindset, especially when it comes to manifestation. If this is your manifestation journey, I feel like your mindset is like really good, because you're like very optimistic. You're very much looking to the future with hope, and a lot of hope, a lot of peace. Something good is just around the corner for you. I want to see what's underneath this Nine of Wands. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. I always get drawn to the little books that they have, the 4 figures around the border. They have their little books that they're reading. So that always speaks to me of like a lot of learning has taken place here, which I think I just said when it came to the Nine of Wands versus that Death card energy. There's something about you coming into luck, you coming into a time of you winning. And maybe it's because you chose to not stay in this stuck state of mind. you decided to retire that sort of energy. And I feel like releasing yourself from that energy has put you on the right track to, again, receive those manifestations, to be in perfect alignment to those that you wish to manifest, those things that you wish to manifest. And you're also like listening to the divine. You're also like, you know, doing the research that's necessary potentially for whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. But also just life lessons in general. You've learned a lot. These are lessons that you won't forget. And maybe for a long time you felt like the Wheel of Fortune was not in your favor at all. But now it feels like there's a shift, there's a change. Now the Wheel of Fortune is moving in your favor. And I think it's because of the actions and the mindsets that you have taken or adapted that I feel like is making that difference here. Very beautiful. Let's go on to the Six of Swords now. Please clarify the Six of Swords for the collective. Please and thank you, Spirit. How is the collective growing in their journey? Please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown in their journey? With that Six of Swords, please and thank you, Spirit. Six of Swords, clarification for the collective, please and thank you, Spirit. How has the collective grown? How has the collective grown? How has the collective grown on their journey with that Six of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you, Spirit. Six of Swords. Okay. I was confused for a second. I was like, is there not going to be any cards that come out? But here we have one. Anything else for the Six of Swords energy? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Alrighty. So, clarifying that Six of Swords, we have the Three of Cups, King of Swords, the Tower, Three of Pentacles, the Emperor. Bottom of the deck, we got that Four of Wands. So there are two double confirmation for the Four of Wands, for sure. Which could definitely be a message of union, but it also can be a message of like success or like hitting a personal milestone and stuff and celebrating that. The Three of Cups can also be about celebrating with your friends, the people that you love and love you back. The Six of Swords also is what we're clarifying, and that is all about moving away from the things that have been really crummy and moving towards calmer waters, moving towards a land full of opportunity and hope. Some sort of critter is crawling on my phone right now. It's like a very tiny grasshopper. From this angle, at least. It looks like that. Three of Cups. You have become... You have become a better friend. You've become a better community member. Like, I feel like you've grown in a lot of ways when it comes to friendships and your community. You could give back to your community in some way, or you like to support the people in your community, but also like you're either attracting friends that are in your vibration, or you will be, or you already have these friends in your life who understand you on that deep level emotionally. You could also have been like leaning more so into your friendships on this journey, and I feel like maybe that's even in the way of like no longer only looking for romantic relationships or putting that as, the only way you can have a real connection with someone. I feel like there's something about friendships that you've grown into the idea of like either that they're just as important as romantic relationships or they're more important than romantic relationships. I I feel like you prioritize your friends in a lot of ways. Maybe even when you're feeling down and you feel like you're kind of going through it, you show up in this Three of Cups energy when it comes to your friends. And not to say that you hide necessarily your issues that you're going through from your friends, because these are the type of friends that would actually be supportive of you and try to like support you through difficult times. But I feel like you always try to put your best self forward when it comes to interacting with your friends or your community. And that's a very beautiful thing. And I feel like that has been a major shift for you, a major change and growth. This part was so interesting. These came out together, so I'm going to try and read them together as like a storyline here. I think I see what this is talking about. Interesting. So you showed up as the Queen of Swords earlier, and now we have the King of Swords. Wait, what did I say? Queen of Swords earlier. Now we have the King of Swords. I don't know what I said originally, but so yeah, in a way that could definitely be indicating somebody, or not somebody. This could be indicating that you are very balanced in terms of your masculine and feminine. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of already goes without saying. But the King and Queen of Swords can also indicate a divorced couple. And if that is the case, I feel like this King of Swords could have been an ex in your life. And maybe this is the ex that really tried to destroy you, destroy your life, rip some sort of foundation out from underneath you, like really tried to cause chaos. And it feels like even a downfall potentially. Somebody was really plotting and trying really hard to sabotage you in your own success and your own, like your own happiness. But it's so funny because like after that Tower card we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is all about building that foundation, building up that foundation that will be sturdy for other things to be put on top of it, such as relationships and stuff. And it's really beautiful because like that Three of Pentacles and then the Emperor card, I think the Emperor is indicating you, the collective, because it feels almost like this King of Swords didn't realize you had this in you, this ability to start anew. It feels like this King of Swords was trying to cause chaos in your life, trying to sabotage you, trying to sabotage your progress, trying to sabotage something very significant. The Tower card is not to be taken lightly. That's a major arcana. That's a very significant energy. And a period of time to go through that is really rough. But it's like you bounced right back, and why do I feel like you're even stronger than ever and more capable, more successful, more confident? It's almost like you know who the hell you are now, and it's through seeing how you have come back from a lot of, shitty circumstances or situations. Also, you may be working or on building something that is leading you to this becoming the Emperor. So I feel like there could be some sort of empire, business, some sort of like something in your 3D that helps you to feel like powerful, like empowered, where it's like in the past people tried to disempower you, but now you're empowered. You know who the hell you are, you know what you're capable of, and what you're capable of like building, manifesting for yourself and for your life. There could also be something about like how you are like strong-headed, and not in a bad way, just very strong-willed, strong-headed in the way of like, I'm not letting anyone tell me otherwise. I'm not gonna let anybody convince me that I'm not the Emperor. I'm not gonna let anybody like talk me out of pursuing my plans for the future. I love this energy. And with the Three of Cups, with that message I was getting with the King of Swords and the Tower, that could have definitely been a third-party situation that you experienced. And so, like, that can really impact you significantly. But yet, you bounced right back. Like, this message of you just bouncing right back, I feel like that's shocking the people that tried to throw a wrench into your plans. That tried to sabotage what you were trying to do, or, you know, sabotage you in your life in general. But now it's like, it's almost like you're coming back with a vengeance. I like this a lot. I just feel like you know your power, and it's probably because you've gone through so much at this point in your journey that you're just like, I'm unshakable. You want to, like, you know, it's almost like you dare people almost at this point to try to block you or create a blockage or, you know, sabotage your goals or whatever. Because it's just like you are unstoppable at this point in your journey. And I feel like you are starting to realize that. And also other people are starting to realize that too. I feel like you're embodying this Emperor energy in the way of, like, you take yourself very seriously, and therefore other people fall in line with that. You have like a certain presence that demands respect without saying a word. And I feel like people have been responding to that shift in your energy, and now they act accordingly. It's very beautiful. So yeah, I think you've grown in terms of like what you're able to go through, what you're able to overcome. You've grown in terms of like how you see yourself, how you see your future. You just don't let things affect you like they may have once did in your past. Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this could definitely be an indication that maybe there's somebody that's going to be in alignment with you being in this Emperor energy, who will be your counterpart. Somebody that really gets you. Yeah, like union could definitely be on the horizon for you as a result of all this growth that you've gone through on your journey. People are very like attracted to you. They see you as very abundant. They see you as someone that would be a great partner to like build a home with or to come into union with. There's also something about like your efforts are bearing fruit. So I feel like you're gonna see something in relation to your growth in the way that something is paying off here in the future, or maybe in the present moment. Let's see what's underneath that Four of Wands. The Fool card. Ooh. So there's like this new beginning on the horizon for you that is associated with the Four of Wands here. So it's like, yeah, if you're looking for a new beginning, a fresh start with someone, you know, building a union with somebody new, that is definitely in the cards here. I feel like you're attracting somebody new, not like your past, not from your past, somebody that's new to your life. This will be like a new experience as well. Maybe this will be the type of relationship that you've never really experienced before. It feels stable and it feels exciting. I feel like Spirit may be even directing somebody towards you to come into union with. Because maybe you've been craving this for some time, and Spirit's about to deliver that to you. I like that. So we saw the Page of Swords earlier at the bottom of this deck. I think you're making somebody curious, and I wonder if this is the person that's going to be a really good fit for you romantically. Or maybe it's just people in general. They're very intrigued by what you have going on. I feel like you probably have a very like unique sort of energy, or maybe you just do things according to how you want them done, or how you want to do things rather than what society expects you to do. And so because you kind of march to the beat of your own drum, I feel like people are finding that very interesting and they want to know more about you. You make people curious because of the way that you are and how you're showing up. I want to see what's underneath the Page of Swords. Cups. Double confirmation for Ten of Cups. And with this context of somebody being very intrigued, being very curious about you, the Ten of Cups could be that you're going to have a happily ever after with this person. And the pages would make sense because with that Fool card with the Four of Wands, that was indicating to me a new beginning with a new person, not somebody from your past, not somebody that reminds you of the past, but somebody that's like fresh, spanking new. And the pages can indicate, newer people coming into our lives. So it may not even be a bad thing that this person's showing up as a page. It may just be indicating that they are new to you. And this is somebody that maybe you have to build with over time or, get to know. But it will lead to this Ten of Cups, which honestly, I feel like this Ten of Cups is coming into your life regardless of if you're in union with somebody or not, just because you're in such a powerful, capable energy and mindset. That's making a big difference here, I think, for your future. I really do feel like because you've grown in all of these different ways, it's manifesting the future that you want for yourself. Because it feels like you've made the proper changes. You made those shifts, no matter how difficult they were. Okay, let's break out the Oracle and see what it has to say. Please and thank Spirit. Any other additional messages for the collective in terms of their growth on their journey? Please and thank you, Spirit. Any other messages to add to this beautiful reading for the collective? Please and thank you. Okay. So, we have the Skunk and Magnolia. This represents protection. And then we have the Sheep and Blackberry. This represents devotion. And then bottom of the deck, we have the Deer and Oak, and that represents healing. I feel like with that Skunk and Magnolia, indicating protection, you protect yourself way more than you did in the past. And that's a way that you've grown. Spirit also protects you as well. And maybe that helps you to be more daring because you feel protected not only by yourself, but also by Spirit as well. The Sheep and Blackberry with the devotion. I feel like you've been devoted to yourself. You've been devoted to your own journey here. And that is making a big difference. There's something about these blackberries that is standing out to me, almost like, I don't know how to word that. I don't know, something about being in the present moment and smelling the roses and eating the berries. You're able to find the beauty in so many different things that maybe at one point you couldn't see the beauty in life or the beauty in certain things, but now you see beauty in every little thing. And that could be also helping your mental health as well, and maybe fixing those mindsets that were not serving you for a long time. You're also not afraid to be soft, whereas maybe in the past you were really afraid to be soft and vulnerable, but I feel like you're showing up in a more vulnerable energy these days, and it's a good thing. But with the devotion card, I feel like it definitely could be an indicator not only of you being devoted to yourself, but somebody that wants to be devoted to you as well. Attracting your partner here. That could definitely be taking place. And the Deer and Oat at the bottom of the deck being representing healing. I think you definitely have healed a lot, and that's probably why you've grown so much, is because there's been a lot of healing taking place here. And healing is not linear, it's not a straight line, it's very much back and forth, up and down. But overall, you've been really sort of going higher and higher on your journey. Also, all of this healing, I feel like, is going to put you in the right sort of state of mind to receive these manifestations when they come in. something about you being sturdy, reliable. That could just be like a personal thing, or maybe how you're showing up as well. How you've grown into trusting yourself, trusting your own value, trusting your own worth. There's a cute little pup. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so that is the message. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And yeah, I thought this was actually a really good reading. Probably not a quickie, but I tried. But yeah, so that's the reading. If it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings, if you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next